Hi, I am Erika Elaine Glander, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions.
Hi, I'm Allison Jackson, and I'm also the Assistant Director of Admissions.
And we both work for our working professional programs here at the Fuqua School of Business. And today we are going to talk about which working professional program is right for me. So today we are going to talk about both of our Executive MBA programs, their overview, and the Fuqua experience. We're also going to really discuss our curriculum overview and the similarities and the differences between both programs, as well as our term structure, our elective term, and our tuition and fees, and how to stay engaged with us throughout the admissions process.
So at Fuqua, we only offer one Duke MBA degree. Whether you complete the daytime, the weekend, or the global, it's the same rigor, you have the same resources, and it's the same credential. Both working professional MBA programs offer a compressed hybrid delivery format over 19 months for the weekend executive and 18 months for the global executive. For both programs, a portion of your learning will take place in the classroom while the other portion is online. Studying the same general management curriculum taught in all Duke MBA programs, you'll take a core that spans all functional areas of business. The rigorous curriculum and emphasis on cohort learning combine to ensure you become a leader who empowers your team to do what's best for the business and the company. The weekend executive begins every year in May, and the global executive begins every year in July. And finally, there's no opportunity cost. You're applying what you're learning in class that weekend to the workplace on Monday.
So you'll notice here that we have 10 core curriculum classes that are very similar between both the Global Executive and the Weekend Executive MBA format. Again, as Allison mentioned, they span all functional areas of business, and the rigor is the same as our full-time MBA program. Where the differences lie are in these different educational opportunities that both the weekend and the global cohort offer you. So the weekend program offers a leadership series where you take leadership ethics and organizations, or LEO for short. You also take 2 integrative leadership experience courses, as well as a leadership and development course. Whereas the global program takes managerial effectiveness, leadership for the global executive, and global immersion classes while they're in their international residencies. So here you will notice that this is a sample weekend curriculum. So don't get stuck on the dates or even where they fall in each term, but just notice that this is how we divvy up the 18 total courses for the weekend executive program throughout 5 terms. You will also have 2 teams for the weekend executive MBA program. You will have a team for terms 1 and 2, and then you will have a team for term 3 and 4. For your final term, you select your team. So those aren't teams that we select for you, but you get the opportunity to select which team you want to be on for which elective course you take. But again, noticing that you will divvy out all of your classes very equally throughout 19 months. And there's also an optional global academic travel experience. The Global Academic Travel Experience for the Weekend Executive MBA program studies the business, culture, economy, and politics of a country or a region. It is an academic course that can replace one of your elective courses, or it can be taken as a 5th elective course. It's a 6 weeks of a distance class, followed by an in-person residency to your international residency experience. So it's a 12-day trip that you conclude your experience with. Prior locations have been Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, or Latin America, Argentina, Peru, and even China as well. So it's a great experience to globalize your educational experience here at Fuqua while participating in the Weekend Executive MBA program.
So I won't linger on this too long. It's, a lot is covered as what Erika just said. So here's the sample curriculum for the global program. The only difference is that this spans over 6 terms as opposed to 5 terms, but same team structure where you're on the same team for terms 1 and 2. And then you go through team changeover in term 3, which is going to be in Santiago, and you'll be with that team from term 3 until term 5. And then again, you get to choose your own team, just like the weekend program, during the elective term. And as Erika said, it's across both programs, so you can choose teammates who are either all in the global executive program, or if you want to have some teammates on the weekend executive as well as global, that is up to you.
Also, no matter which program you are in, whether it's the Global Executive or the Weekend Executive MBA program, you have an option to complete one of 5 concentration areas: energy and environment, entrepreneurship and innovation, finance, marketing, or strategy. Or you can participate in a certificate program, the Health Sector Management Certificate Program. Whereas the concentration are additional courses that you would complete during elective term, followed by a project course after elective term, the certificate program includes additional courses past the traditional MBA curriculum. So it does involve a little bit further education for the certificate, and that's why it's a certificate and not a concentration. But both these options are identical across working professional programs. I will also mention that the certificate can be completed as an alumni of our Executive MBA program. So you do not have to complete the Health Sector Management Certificate during the program. You can complete it as an alumni. I also want to highlight, here is an example, terms 1 through 4 for the Weekend Executive MBA program. You'll notice for the weekend program, you have 13 total campus in-person residencies, alternated with 12 hybrid Saturday formats and optional international travel, as I discussed before. So each term consists of a reading period, followed by residencies where you're in person for 3 days, taking classes together with your entire cohort, and then you alternate that in-person experience with your entire cohort with what we call hybrid Saturday. Hybrid, they're still live. You can just choose to do it in person or online. And then all finals are done at a distance. Each class will be different, but you do not have to have an additional in-person residency to complete finals. And then you'll have a break for about 6 to 9 days in between each term. So this is what a sample monthly residency looks like. It is jam-packed. You will be in class from the beginning of the day all the way till the end. And you'll notice we do schedule time for fun, so it's not just all business here at the Fuqua School of Business, but you will maximize all of your in-person time to get to know your cohort as best as you can. Thursdays, you'll notice it's a travel day, so it's optional events that happen on Thursday evening, but class starts promptly on Friday morning, and you're done by 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, so you can get home to those families and friends. Now, the alternate experience is the example for a hybrid session. Hybrid is that Saturday where you could choose to come in person, or you could do it online via the Zoom platform. However, this is live. Everybody in your entire cohort is doing this together. So you'll notice this picture depicts the people who come in person. You're still seeing those same classmates that you saw on a residency weekend, but you're seeing them online. And this allows everybody from the West Coast to all across the United States to still participate in person and not lose that cadence with their classmates.
Here is a breakdown of what your Global Executive MBA term looks like, very similar to the weekend in terms of how it's broken down, so I won't go into each of these different components because you just heard about it, but the difference is the 6 terms as opposed to 5 terms. And so there are 6 residencies. The first and the last residency taking place here in Durham, North Carolina for 14 days, and residencies 2 through 5 are in international locations that are 8 days long. And the locations are Shanghai, Santiago, New Delhi, and Berlin. And then after your residency, you have a 1-week break, and then you launch into your distance learning, which are all live classes. These are live virtual classes hosted on Zoom every Saturday morning, usually from about 9 a.m. until noon. You'll take 2 classes about an hour to an hour and a half each, and again, they're all live with your faculty. And then at the end, finals occur at the end of each term, and they are completed at a distance. And then you get a 1-week break, and you start all over again. And again, you do this 6 times. So this is an example of what you might expect during a global residency. And like the weekend, you can expect a full schedule. In addition to taking classes, you'll attend corporate site visits to local businesses, listen to key industry speakers, give presentation on economic trends and new initiatives, meet with career advisors to discuss next steps in your professional development, and of course, participate in cultural activities. The corporate site visits are an important part of the global residency experience, and you're given several companies representing various industries to choose from. Your visit typically includes a tour of the facility, a brief presentation from a C-suite member about the company, and then an opportunity for you to ask questions. Residencies are mandatory, so it's important to speak with your supervisor about your participation expectation during that time. One of the unique parts about the international residencies is that you're traveling to these locations not only with your team and cohort, but with Fuqua faculty, the academic department, career coaches, even the IT department joins you. So you still have access to these key campus resources, even though you're halfway around the world. And although the residencies are intense, students also find time to enjoy where they are in the world. For example, during the Shanghai residency in Term 2, each team is given a list of groceries to buy at a local wet market and then tasked with cooking an authentic Chinese meal for everyone. So you work hard, but you also get to enjoy where you are too.
So both the weekend and the Global Executive MBA program culminate in what we like to call elective term or super term here in Durham, North Carolina. So in September of your following year, you will return to campus for a final 2-week intensive session of electives and complete those courses remotely. So you start with 2 weeks here, you take 2 classes during week 1 and you take 2 classes during week 2. So 4 total elective classes of your choosing. Your cohort will also expand to include both cohorts. So this will be the first time that you get to interact with the global executive students if you're weekend or the weekend executive students if you're the global program. So these new teammates will come from around the world, represent different industries, so you'll practice with a brand new set of professionals. After the extended residency, you'll continue working together remotely in a 10-week distance learning period that includes live online classes every Saturday morning. And then you'll finish with your finals period again at a distance, so no additional in-person residencies for those finals. Now, this slide, I know it's crazy. Do not get caught down in the details, but this shows that just like a global residency and just like a weekend residency, we pack in as much as we physically can in these experiences together. Everything from the Duke basketball experience, which is of course a must, down to guest speakers, career management sessions, and of course those elective classes that you've been looking forward to so much throughout your program.
So all this sounds great, right? But how much does it cost? Well, in the tuition, the total tuition for both the global and the weekend executive programs, all of your residency expenses are included, which includes all of your accommodations, all of your hotel accommodations for both weekend and global, all of your meals, your books, and materials. You just have to get yourself to the location. So flights are not included. Everything else is.
We want to thank you so much for attending today's session. We want to now open it up to our audience. We would like you to submit questions throughout the chat feature of this presentation, and we will answer them live here with you today. So please let us know if you have any questions, and we are happy to answer them as they come in.
All right, I don't see any yet, so we'll give you some time to send in your questions. I know we threw a lot of information at you, but we are here to help make some of that information make a little bit more sense. So we'll give you a couple minutes.
Allison,
Yeah.
If I'm going through trying to figure out which program is for me and I really can't help narrow it down, are there any additional resources that our office offers to prospective students to help them figure out which program is right for them?
So the best resource is really, you're looking at them, schedule calls with us. We really take a very personal approach when it comes to figuring out what program is right for you and, if ultimately Fuqua is the right choice for you overall. And so just having conversations with us, we'll look at your resume, hear a little bit about your background, your intentions, your career trajectory, goals, and then figure out based on that and your interests, which program is going to be the right fit for you. And then in addition to that, we'll take it a step further and connect you to current students in the program or alumni. They're the best resource to really get down to the nitty-gritty about what it's like to be in these programs, and so we'd be happy to connect you to them. And we have some questions coming in, so this is wonderful. Keep them coming. Okay, so first question, what are your undergrad requirements? Take it away.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's a good question. So we do not require undergraduate degrees in quantitative subjects or in business fields. We take undergraduate degrees from any realm of educational background. I will say the biggest thing is that our programs are highly quantitative. So you do want to have a rigorous background academically or professionally. And so if you have an undergraduate degree in business or finance or accounting or engineering, we also we pair it with not only your academics from graduate school, but we also pair it with a test for our academic portion. So we are still looking to make sure that you quantitatively will be able to handle our program, but you don't necessarily have to have majored that in undergrad.
We have a lot of students who do not have a business background or anywhere near a business background in the program, and they're doing fantastically. So don't let that deter you. There are ways to as Erika said, demonstrate your quant ability. We love to have a variety of backgrounds. So again, step one, come have a conversation with us and we'll kind of give you some personal guidance as to if these programs make sense for you based on your background. Okay, where will there be a recording available for the session? Yes. We will record this and we will be happy to send it out. Okay. Next question, would you recommend the global program for full-time working professionals? So both of our working professional programs, the weekend and the global, are for full-time working professionals. So yes, absolutely. When is the earliest you can apply for a respective cohort?
So we are now in the middle of recruitment for our programs that start in May and July of 2020. So if you're thinking about starting this year, please start your application today. If you're thinking about next year, we will launch our applications for our following academic start of 2021 in this summer of 2020. So be on the lookout for those applications to launch this summer.
And what are the application deadlines? Next question.
It's a great follow-up question. So our application deadlines, they do differ for both the Global and the Weekend Executive MBA program. So I want to point you to our website to make sure you have the exact deadlines on hand. But we traditionally start our accepting applications in the summer of each year. And for the weekend program, the final deadline is March 11th before the program starts. So that's very important, is that March 11th is the final date that we will accept applications for the start date in May. Allison, what's the final deadline for the global program?
Our global program is May 28th. For international applicants, it is April 28th. Okay. I forgot I'm the one with the questions. Okay, we have a bunch of questions requesting our contact information, so we'll see if we can cue this that slide up again that has both of our emails on there, so you can reach out to us and schedule a call. If you shoot us an email, let us know you're interested in hopping on the phone. We'll send you our calendars, and then you can just schedule, just choose a date and time that work best for you. And these are 30-minute calls, so not super long. Oh, there you go. And I think you can see us at the bottom. Yeah, we'd love to chat with you, and also make sure you have your resume ready to go. So you can send that in advance of the call, just so we have an idea of your background ahead of our call, but that's certainly not a requirement. Okay, what is the total tuition? For the global program, it's just under $150,000. I believe it's $149.50, and that's total for the 2 years. Again, inclusive of everything but the flights. And for weekend?
The weekend program is $140,400, and again, that is for start to finish of the program. So it includes terms 1 through 5.
Okay, and so we're back on screen, but if anyone else needs our contact information, if that wasn't long enough, let us know and we'll put it back up. So just send us a question about it. Okay. What have you seen other students who have grappled with the decision between WMBA and GMBA state as the deciding factor for picking one or the other? Well, my perspective is it's a time commitment. There are a lot of similarities in the programs, nuts and bolts. It's the delivery. I think people want to do the global program, but it doesn't always align with their work schedule, family commitments. It can make it a little tricky. It's manageable. We have a lot of students in the global program who have families. You know, you're all working professionals, full-time working professionals, so it is manageable. It is more difficult than doing the weekend program. So I think it comes down to time, fit, and if you want to have that added layer of global competency when it comes to business as a part of your MBA. Any more to add?
I would agree. I think one of the biggest things is that you'll notice in both of our formats, you get an understanding of global business in either program, and you get an understanding of leadership in either program. So really it comes down to that format delivery. Are you able to take extended periods of time away from work? With the weekend program, it's once a month that you're out of work. So it's sometimes a lot of our students are actually even reporting that it's no longer a discussion between them and their employer. I would say please discuss it with your employer. It's very important to have them on board for just moral support. But you can be gone from work one day a month. But again, talk to us. We'll put you in contact with all these students that may match your profile a little bit better, and they can help you sort of navigate that process.
Yeah, and I don't know if you mentioned this also, but the profile of the students is also the same. So there isn't a difference in student profile between the two programs. There's still the same diversity of industry and background. So it really, truly comes down to a difference in delivery. So whether you want to do 1 week residency sprints every 3 months with the global program, or if you want to come every once a month. Okay, we kind of hit on this before, but if you have a non-business or non-quantitative background, what can applicants do to better prepare for the program? Well, I will always keep coming back. Step one, talk to us. And we'll kind of be able to tailor our recommendations based on your background, so it's a little bit more personalized. But in a general sense, you could take a standardized test. The GMAT executive assessment is also a new test that's come around. It's administered through GMAC, who does GMAT, but it's tailored more for working professionals and those who've been out of school for 10 plus years. So that would be great. Coursera, you could take courses on Coursera or
Coursera is the one that I would default to.
You could also do MBA Math. So MBA Math is, it's required for all of our MBA students before they start. So both weekend and global, you have to do this before you start the program. Some students, especially if you don't have a really strong quantitative background in academics or in your profession, they'll go ahead and do it with their application, just to kind of show, along with everything else, that they can actually do the quant part. So again, hop on the phone with us. We can walk you through that and send you the information for MBA Math. Anything else to add about?
I would add, if you have time on your side, that is the biggest gift that I can say a lot of people have when they're researching working professional programs. A lot of you live in areas where you could take a community college statistics class or algebra class. Those are great in-person experiences that will strengthen you not only as an applicant, but it will strengthen your performance in any MBA program, not just ours. A second thing, a lot of you work for very large corporations. Just like Duke offers leadership and development classes, take an Excel class, utilize all of those free opportunities that you have in your current employment situation, because that will pay off dividends in your program.
Absolutely, that's a good point. So moving, kind of goes along with this, is a GMAT or EA mandatory?
It is not. We do offer a waiver process for students applying to our Executive MBA programs for a test requirement. So there are 3 test options, again, the executive assessment, the GMAT, or the GRE, but we do offer a waiver process, and what that consists of is a copy of your transcripts, whether it be undergraduate and your doctoral, master's, any of your additional transcripts post-undergrad, paired with your updated resume. So it is crucial that you have an updated resume for us to look at, and we look at both, not just your educational background, but your current work experience to see what you are doing quantitatively. Because at the end of the day, we want you to be successful in our program. And so what that is doing is looking at what you are doing today and what you've done prior to help us understand if a test is not really going to demonstrate that for us.
Some other EMBA programs require an employer letter of support. Is that not required of Duke's programs? Correct. It used to be. Not anymore. We just strongly encourage you, as Erika said before, to have a conversation with your company. Just let them know this is something you're considering, show them the calendars. We can email you the calendars just so you can give them a visual of what it's going to look like for you going through this program, and come up with a plan of attack, especially for those of you who are the point persons for a department, for a project. Have a second line of command and just have all these things prepared and ready to go, almost in a formal proposal for this conversation, because they're going to appreciate it and you're going to feel a lot more supported as you go through this whole process of looking for an MBA program. What sector did Duke grads mostly gravitate towards? For example, Wharton is known for finance.
It's a great question. So our individuals come across all different platforms and industries and sectors and job functions. And I would say that it's as individual as every single graduating year. So each year you'll see it change based on what the cohort is in. Obviously, Fuqua has you can see on our website, we have a lot of individuals that gravitate towards consulting for our full-time MBA program or finance for our full-time MBA program. But our executive programs are incredibly diverse. So you will notice it's not just consulting or not just finance. There's healthcare, there's operations, there's oil and gas, energy, industry represented.
Education, nonprofit, government. We have a lot of veterans.
Yes.
It's very diverse.
So I wouldn't say there is a majority industry that our individuals gravitate towards for a working professional program.
And also because a lot of our students aren't necessarily looking to make a change. They're coming from a lot of these backgrounds, but a lot of them stay in those industries as well. I think that there are more pivots in a working professional program than people realize. And so we have, ample career resources for that as well. But, there is demand for career pivots, but a lot of our students tend to stay in the industry that they came in with. Okay, this is for the weekend program. I want to know if anyone with an H-1 visa and working in the USA is considered as international student, or if they can be eligible to apply by round 5 of the weekend executive program since they don't need a student visa.
It is a really good question. So we do not offer educational visas for the Weekend Executive MBA program, meaning we do not have a deadline for international students to apply, because the question itself said you're not asking the school for a visa, you are here on a working visa. You can apply as late as March 11th, and we welcome your application.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone is asking, yes, so email either the Global-MBA, if we could put the contact screen up one more time, email either of these email addresses to schedule a call with either Erika or myself to discuss either the Global or the Weekend program. And as you can see, we work across programs, so if you truly are torn between the two, we can speak to either. So don't feel like you can only speak to Erika about the Weekend and only speak to me about the Global. We are the head admissions person for the Global program. Erika is for the Weekend, but we can speak about either one. So I would say just get on the phone with either one of us. Okay, next question. These are great questions, so keep them coming. Is it more difficult to utilize career resources for people to use OCR if you are in the GIMBA program?
On-campus recruitment.
On-campus recruitment, that's what I thought. This is an excellent question. I get this question a lot. Yes, it is difficult. It is not impossible. Yeah. It is difficult if, addendum, it is difficult if you are not local to take advantage of OCR in the Global program because you're not here. Those students who are local have more opportunity to participate. I actually know a Global student who was just graduating who transitioned in jobs in the middle of the program. She went through OCR, got an internship, and is now working for them. So it is absolutely possible to participate in on-campus recruiting. You just need to work with the career counselors and figure out what of our resources is going to be the best match for you. And maybe it's on-campus recruiting, maybe it's,
custom recruiting.
Yeah. It could be, we have a lot of different resources for our students, and it's more personalized. So I would say work with the career counselor and make sure that's right for you. And if it is, good luck.
And I'll add to that on-campus recruiting timeline-wise, it is a very structured and rigorous process. Yes. So our Career Management Center is going to work with every single one of our Executive MBA students. If that is your goal to participate in on-campus recruiting, they are going to work with you to help make sure that you are the most competitive candidate that you can be. They are also going to lay out that timeline for you so you are not surprised by any of it, because you are a working professional. You may not be local to the Durham area, so they want to make sure you have all of that information in front of you. The second thing I will say is it does pair up, it it does not pair up identically to your elective term in September, but that is the time period of that fall in which on-campus recruitment happens. So you will be nearing the time of your end of your program. So you will have a lot of resources that you've already used throughout your 18 or 19 months respectively. So you'll be able to use all of that, but paired with, it is very custom structured, but they're going to help you along the way. They're not going to let you fail at this process if you're interested in it.
Yeah, their motto is they meet you where you are, wherever that is. Okay, how many students do you accept for each program for weekend and global? So typical cohort size for the global program is on average about 95, so between 90 and 100 students. And for the weekend?
And for the weekend program, it is a little bit larger. It's 175 people currently. So it is 3 sections individually versus 2 sections for the Global Executive MBA program.
Okay. Well, it looks like we have gone through all of the questions that have come in. Are there any others? We, want to make sure everyone's question gets answered. So if you have any others, go ahead and send them in. Otherwise, we'll start wrapping things up. It's been a pleasure. I hope this has been helpful. Here's one. What is the acceptance rate of the weekend executive program?
It's a great question. Throughout this entire presentation, we have really honed in on contacting us and talking to us about your individual situation. So I will be very transparent in this moment and say we will work with you to make you the most competitive applicant. And we are also not afraid to let individuals know how to strengthen their application. So if we see a weakness in working with applicants, we're going to point that out to you and help you make it stronger so that you're not on the tail end of a denial letter. So that's why it is so crucial to reach out to us throughout the entire process to just help us highlight where we may see some holes to make sure that you can be the most competitive person applying to our Executive MBA programs.
Okay. And do we have any upcoming events?
We do. We have a lot of upcoming events. You can log on to our Fuqua events website and notice that we will be hosting lunches throughout the country coming up in a few weeks. Allison and I will be hitting the road and hosting some lunches with our current students and alumni in those regional areas. We also have individualized virtual information sessions for both programs posted as well. And we also have on-campus events. And on-campus events, I think, are the best way that you get to meet us in person.
Absolutely.
Not saying that we're not fun to be around, but you get to come in person, see Fuqua, see the professors, see the actual in-class experience. You get to talk to alumni and really get that in-person experience of what is this lived experience that I'm about to get myself into. And so we have put them posted. They're in January, February, and March.
Yep. Do we reach out before the interview process to strengthen your chance of acceptance? Yes. Yes. So the application interview can be completed at any point during the application process. You just need to start an application and then you could do your interview, shortly after that. You could wait until you've completely finished your application, you've submitted it, and it's the last piece. So we kind of leave it to you to decide when you want to do that, and you schedule it on the application itself. But yes, we strongly encourage you to have we call them pre-qual conversations before you do your interview, just to answer any questions that you have about the admissions process, about the programs, next steps, and then obviously how to prepare yourself for the interview and then also for the admissions process itself. So definitely look to these conversations as a resource and as a preparation resource for the interview and for the application process itself.
These calls are no pressure calls.
Right.
For everyone out there listening, we really are trying to get to know who you are and what we can help you with.
Yes.
So we said pre-qual. It's not pre-qualifying you for the program. It is really helping you understand how to make yourself the strongest applicant that you can be, and also giving us the idea of, oh my gosh, I need to pair Allison with Erika. They'll just hit it off, and giving you all the resources that we have at our fingertips.
Well, it looks like we've again gone through our questions. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up unless we get one last one in the next 10 seconds. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all so much for joining us. Again, I hope this is helpful. We're here to answer questions if we haven't already made that clear. We're excited to talk about these programs. We think they're amazing, and we hope that you would be a great fit for Fuqua as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.